Former Sex and the City star and New York gubernatorial candidate Cynthia Nixon says she thinks legalizing cannabis could be reparations for black people. Now, she's earned herself a nasty surprise after spewing such a stereotypical racist remark. "I don't know whether you heard this or not, but I want to legalize cannabis in New York State," said Cynthia Nixon on Saturday at the Neck Cannabis Parade as the crowd cheered for her. Nixon, a Democrat running against Governor Andrew Cuomo, is apparently not just making legal pot part of her campaign, but she is pitching the idea that legalizing the drug is a good way to repay black people. Nixon spoke about the evils of prosecuting Americans who have been jailed for using cannabis during her speech at Union Square Park on Saturday, May 5, 2018. Arresting people, particularly people of color, for cannabis is the crown jewel in the racist war on drugs, and we must pluck it down, she said. We must expunge people's records. We must get people out of prison. Why would any American, regardless of their ethnicity, want to be represented by such filth? Nixon is no different than any other New York liberal to come before her. The blatant use of identity politics has already gotten old, rotted on the shelf, and turned to dust. Perhaps someone should tell Nixon these important things before she opens her mouth again. During an interview following her speech, Nixon said that she has made cannabis a focal point of her campaign because it intersects with so many other issues. It's a racial justice issue because we're incarcerating people of color in such staggering numbers, she said, according to The Blaze. Nixon went on to introduce legalizing marijuana as a way to repay black people and minorities for the wrongs they have suffered at the hands of society. What a sick and demented mind she has. Now that cannabis is exploding as an industry, we have to make sure that those communities that have been harmed and devastated by marijuana arrests get the first shot at this industry, she said. We must prioritize them in terms of licenses. It's a form of reparations, she said, according to Forbes. First of all, the idea of reparations isn't new and has been proven to be destructive to people of color. For decades, liberals in America have been shoving affirmative action, which is another form of reparations, down our throats. The fact of the matter is that reparations, in the form of easier high school diplomas, easier college admittance, priority in the job market, and government programs, hasn't helped minorities in America. Those policies have destroyed the motivation of entire generations who now expect to keep receiving a free lifestyle. Nixon's idea that people of color would benefit in the way of reparations from legalized marijuana is unbridled idiocy, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. The responses Nixon received from Twitter users who read about her comments were harsh, to say the least. Actor James Woods led the charge with his funny comment, "Oh, this election is going to be fun. Number liberal hijinks," Wood wrote. A Twitter user named Loretta Wagner said, "It doesn't matter if you think it should be legal or not. This is your coming out platform? And mentioning minorities just to get votes. Ridiculous." Another person with the username Fen wrote, "Reparations? So, who's actually the racist now then? She implies African Americans are on drugs, huh? How does that feel, black community? She just called you junkies. I wonder if she's a Democrat? Here, have a red pill." I could not have said it better myself. Fen hit the nail on the head. The fact that Cynthia Nixon is pushing legalized marijuana is not shocking, but her attempt to use people of color to sell the idea is heinous. In addition, Nixon is taking part in an age-old Democrat tradition known as racism, and she needs to be called out on it every single time. It may come as a nasty surprise to liberals such as her, but such degrading remarks about any ethnicity won't be tolerated, and neither will their identity.